Gerade 7 Mann hoch war, brach schon ein Grunde auf. Erstens, sie wollte eine wahrhaftige Weltanschauungspartei sein. Und zweitens, sie wollte kompromisslos die einzige Macht und alleinige Macht Deutschland. Es spricht der Führer.
You could be on fire for all they care.
We are elected officials. We expect them to act on our behalf. When we get involved in cooperative frameworks with other countries for joint regulation of fisheries or rail transportation or the skies, we're basically sharing our sovereignty with that government and outsourcing some of what we give our elected officials.
Es spricht der Führer.
First they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
You could be on fire for all they care.
The Bush administration's open borders policy and its decision to ignore the enforcement of this country's immigration laws is part of a broader agenda. President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it, and he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
Some people don't like it. It's a loss of national sovereignty, but it is a simple reality. It is a simple reality.
Fire for all they
Constantly
care.
remind Canadians there isn't really a Canadian economy anymore. It is a global
Be on
economy.
fire for all they
Context
care.
of a global
Be
economy.
on fire for all
And
they
we
care.
cannot be effective.
Be on fire for all
Context of a global
Be
economy.
on fire for all they care.
Bill Tucker reports.
The Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America sounds benign, hardly like a policy that critics call NAFTA on steroids. It's a deal that few have even heard of.
It's being done again by very few people at the very top on behalf of the investment class, but the working class of people. Political officials across our country, from communities, from cities and so forth, they don't know anything about this.
Context of a global economy. Context of a global economy.
You could be on fire for all they
We
care.
cannot be effective.
You could be on fire for all
and
they
closely
care.
and intimately.
Graham, this is absolute ignorance. And the fact that we reported this, we should point out, when it was signed. But as we watch this thing progress, these working groups are continuing, they're intensifying. What in the world are these people thinking about?
Well, they say, look, these are a declaration and an outline of our priorities. And when I called them today, Lou, they said I was the first phone call they had received literally since the deal was first signed. So people are not paying attention, and they're letting them, in fact, get away with this.
You know, I was asked the other day about whether or not I really thought the American people had the stomach to stand up and stop this nonsense, this direction from a group of elites in absolute contravention of our law, of our Constitution, every national value. And I hope, I pray that I'm right when I said yes. But this is beyond belief. Bill Tucker, thank you very much. It brings us to the subject of our poll tonight. Do you think maybe somebody should take a vote if we're going to merge the United States with Canada and Mexico? Maybe, you know, people like you and me vote.
The agreement is not security and prosperity of the United States, but of North America.
Men died on the beaches so you could vote. All you need to do is show up with some official-looking mail with your address on it, your student card, and your ID. Don't take no for an answer, and democracy is yours.
About this.
Yet it was agreed to by Mexico's President Fox, Canada's Prime Minister Martin, and President Bush in 2005. Administration officials counter their critics by saying everything about SPP is on the White House website. And they say the partnership is not a treaty, but more of an outline of priorities between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Still, some wonder why there haven't been public discussions about the goals being pursued.
This SPP includes, for instance, a committee that is sitting down to harmonize our meat inspection, and food safety. So how far away from a trade agreement can your dining room table and what you feed your kids be?
Other parts of the agreement mention border security as an issue, which include all of North America. In fact, the name...
First they came to the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came to the communists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a communist. Then they came to the trade unionists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Peaceful. Where do I go? You surrounded me. Where? I'm surrounded. Where can I go? Steve, where? We are peaceful. Where do you want us to go? We are peaceful.
Which, believe me, is code for we don't care about students, we never have, we never will. Now this is a perfect example of where young people can learn from their elders. And by elders, I mean the elderly, as in senior citizens, because believe me, those folks, they vote, which is why the old age home is the natural habitat for any campaigning politician. No exaggeration. In the 30 days since this campaign began, John Beard has spent 26 of them in an old age home. Okay, slight exaggeration. Now, I'm not saying, students, that students themselves aren't important to politicians. Oh, they are. After all, you're the ones that deliver the lawn signs. But past that,
First they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for.
It is a simple reality.
fire for all they
Constantly
care.
remind Canadians there isn't really a Canadian economy anymore. It is a global economy. But as I constantly remind Canadians, there isn't really a Canadian economy anymore. It is a global economy.
So my advice to any university student, never mind your civic responsibility. Seeing as you're such a low priority in this country, you should show up and vote out of spite, if for no other reason. And believe me, there are 1 million students in this country. You show up and vote, elections, they'll never be the same again. Education will never be left off the agenda. And for all of you students out there who are living away from home for the first time, ignore all those Elections Canada ads that make it seem like you need quantum physics to vote. In this country, you do not need to be registered in advance to vote.
Ultimately, to improve that position within the context of a global economy. And we cannot be effective at major economic matters any longer unless we work with our other economic partners around the world and work with them closely and intimately. That is essential. I know some people don't like it. It's a loss of national sovereignty, but it is a simple reality. It is a simple reality that we are in a global economy. The global economy is determining where we're headed and will determine our future, and we have to play our part in these forums to make sure that our interests are protected and advanced.